Scrolling on your phone at the gym. We've all done it, but can it actually get in the way of your results? The answer is yes, and today I'm going to explain exactly how that is and what to do instead in order to maximize your time at the gym. I'm Griffin from the North Star Body, and before we get going, make sure you give this video a like to help get it out to the people who need this info. And of course, if you like this kind of thing, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a video. So we all know that the most important part of getting results with your body is the recovery period. So it doesn't matter if you're trying to build muscle or lose weight or learn a complex skill or just maximize performance intensity. Our ability to recover is directly related to our ability to perform. In fact, all of those adaptations that we're trying to make as we build the coordination in the brain or the muscle gets bigger and repairs itself, whatever it is, the learning process is all happening as the body recuperates, not during the workout. The workout is the stimulus to tell the body that it needs to adapt afterwards. So you could have the best workout in the world, but if you don't recover well afterwards, you are missing out on a ton of gains, whether they're performance related or aesthetics related. So the same holds true for recovery within a workout. So if you want the most out of your workout, you want to be able to push yourself to the intensity that you need to in each round or each set or whatever kind of workout you're doing. And so your recovery in between those sets and those rounds makes all the difference in terms of how well you're able to perform that whole workout. If you can't recover between sets, your sets aren't going to be as good. That's the bottom line. So how do we ensure that? Well, I'll tell you how we don't, and it's scrolling on our phone. Why is that? Well, breathing is an automatic process that we also can take control over if we need to. And the easiest and most direct way to influence your recovery is with your breathing. If you're scrolling on your phone, you are not paying attention to your breathing, which means whatever breathing pattern you were doing during the workout is going to carry over into your recovery period. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, that's not a big deal, but if you watched last week's video, which I'm linking in the description below, you know that our nervous system is directly related to our breathing rate. And that the faster that we breathe, the more aroused or escalated or sympathetic our nervous system state is. And in order to recover, our nervous system needs to be brought back down to balance. And so the way to do that is to slow your breathing. But if you're looking at your phone and you're not consciously slowing your breathing, it's not going to slow down by itself. It will a little bit because you're not working, but it's going to take a lot longer. And it might not be down to the rate you need it to be before it's time to go and work again. But slowing down the breathing rate is only half of it. The other piece is what's called interoception, or your ability to detect and become aware of internal sensations in the body. And interoception is just as important as the rate of breathing itself. Why is that? Well, first of all, your ability to interocept is directly related to your stress levels. So people who have better interoceptive awareness and are better able to detect and notice sensations in the body are lower stress people. And stress, as we learned in last week's video, influences the autonomic nervous system. Recovery happens in a more parasympathetic state. And if you are not able to sense your sensations, you are letting your body automatically leave you probably in a slightly sympathetic state, which is just not going to make your recovery as efficient, whether it's in the workout or afterwards. Number two is that interoception allows us to control the stories we tell ourselves over certain sensations in our body. So if you just did a hard set or a hard round of interval training, and you're breathing really heavily because it was difficult, then you might have stories in your head around, wow, that's tough, wow, I feel like I'm going to pass out, or I'm going to throw up, or oh my God, I can't do another one. And if those stories are your baseline, meaning those are the stories you usually tell yourself, then you have to consciously rewrite those stories in order to develop a better relationship with exercise and be able to recover. So if you pick up your phone and you start scrolling and you're not thinking about, okay, I'm okay, I just need to slow my breathing. If you're not thinking about any of that stuff and you're just looking at your phone, kind of dissociating from the sensations of your body, the breathing rate continues, and also you still feel maybe that air hunger or a little bit of breathlessness or just hard work in your breathing muscles or your cardiovascular system, and you're like, even if it's not completely conscious, you're reinforcing these stories because you're not paying attention to actually rewriting them. And number 3 is that it allows us to actually achieve that slow breathing. So trying to slow your breathing but not really thinking about it is futile. You might actually get the breathing rate slower, but if you are not able to interocept and you are not able to dial into these sensations and be able to tell yourself, it's just air hunger, I just need to deepen my breathing, but try and slow it down, then you are not actually going to feel comfortable slowing your breathing. It's almost like slowing your breathing is bothering you. It's like a nag because what your attention is on is, Instagram or your text messages or whatever. And that trying to slow your breathing is just adding a level of discomfort to it that is inconvenient. And that's not how we want to treat it. We want to treat the slow breathing as the focus. We want, if that starts to feel uncomfortable, we want to, again, rewrite the story around the discomfort. And we want to tell the brain, this discomfort is okay. This discomfort is me adapting to CO2 levels rising in the blood and getting better at handling stress and getting better at handling exercise of higher intensity. All of these things kind of go out the window if you're distracting yourself in between sets. So what do you do instead? Well, I kind of alluded to all of it during that explanation about interoception and slow breathing. Between rounds and between sets, you want to try to get your breathing back to controlled nasal breathing at a steady pace as quickly as possible. Might be different depending on who you are, your fitness level, or what type of exercise you're doing. So if you just did a full sprint, it's going to take a lot longer to get your breathing back than if you just did, a couple of air squats or push-ups. So understand that this is just a measure. This is just how quickly can I, without panicking, get my breathing back down to slow, controlled nasal breathing. And one of the ways to do that, and the best way to do that, is to put all of your attention on what it feels like to try to do that. When the air hunger, that feeling that you want to take more of a bigger breath, when that sets in, you rewrite the story around it. Because remember, we've talked before that air hunger does not mean you're low in oxygen. It just means CO2 is accumulating in the blood, and getting used to that is going to help your athletic performance as well as your ability to handle stress.